It's Thursday, March 10th. This is The Gateway. I'm Wayne Pratt. The Missouri House has approved a bill that sends millions of dollars from public schools to charter schools. Sponsor, State Representative Doug Ritchie, says the measure secures more equal funding for charters.
We cannot turn a blind eye to the need to fix this flaw in the formula that does resource them at a lesser degree.
The bill faced opposition from Democrats, but it's still headed to the Missouri Senate. The measure could mean the loss of millions of dollars for St. Louis public schools. That's where St. Louis Public Radio's Sarah Kellogg picks up the story.
The legislation modifies the current funding formula for charter schools in the state with money distributed based on student enrollment. According to a fiscal analysis of the bill, St. Louis public schools are estimated to lose over $18 million to charter schools, while Kansas City public schools would lose over $8 million. An amendment stops the bill from going into effect for St. Louis City schools for 5 years, but Representative Kevin Windham, who voted against the bill, said St. Louis County isn't a part of the exemption and said his district could be next to see a charter school built.
This bill is bad news for my community and communities throughout the state.
House members voted 85 to 67 to pass it. In Jefferson City, I'm Sarah Kellogg, St. Louis Public Radio.
House passage of that measure was part of a flurry of activity yesterday in Jefferson City. House members also passed a bill allowing guns on public transportation and in churches. It would allow those with concealed carry permits to bring firearms on buses and other forms of public transit. They would still be banned on Amtrak. Also, the measure would allow people with concealed carry permits to bring guns into churches. Currently, they need permission to bring firearms to places of worship. Also at the Missouri Capitol, more than 20 senators are condemning that chamber's conservative caucus. They are concerned about recent actions, including an amendment that modified provisions for sexual assault survivors. Action on that measure has been delayed. State Senator Jill Shoup co-sponsored the original bill.
This very conservative caucus is using these tools to undermine some of our colleagues who are really trying to do good work and put forward good policy in the chamber.
The caucus also wants a congressional redistricting map that would include 7 likely Republican seats. The new map is stalled in the Senate. A coalition that helps homeowners avoid losing their housing due to unpaid property taxes has received a large infusion of money. St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones says she is directing $500,000 in federal COVID relief funds toward the effort. St. Louis Public Radio's Rachel Lippman reports.
As many as 75 owner-occupied homes a year become available at tax sales because of delinquent property taxes. The problem is especially stark in parts of North St. Louis, where families may have to choose between meeting an unexpected expense or paying the tax bill. The Real Estate Tax Assistance Fund steps in before a house is sold and pays off the property tax debt. A local agency determines which homeowners qualify. They're eligible for up to $3,500 in assistance. Those homeowners also get legal help and receive financial education. Jones said in a statement that preventing foreclosures helps the entire city. She also hopes the infusion prompts others to donate to the fund. I'm Rachel Lippman, St. Louis Public Radio.
World-famous architect Gio Obata died on Tuesday. He was 99. St. Louis Public Radio's Jonathan Ahl reports he was an international influence with strong roots in St. Louis.
Obata designed such notable buildings as the McDonald Planetarium at the St. Louis Science Center, the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C., and the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum in Springfield, Illinois. Obata was the O in St. Louis-based architecture firm HOK. In a 2017 interview with 9 PBS, he said what made the firm special was its well-rounded approach.
We were really interested in architecture, but we are also interested in landscape architecture, interiors, and so forth. So our practice got a lot more richer.
HOK grew from one room in St. Louis to the largest U.S.-based architectural firm with more than 25 offices and 1,600 employees. I'm Jonathan Ahl, St. Louis Public Radio.
Hi, I'm Shula Newman, Executive Editor at St. Louis Public Radio. I'm dropping by to remind you that we're in the midst of our spring member campaign. That's when we talk to you about the great journalism St. Louis Public Radio provides, and then ask you to support that journalism by making a donation. This is the best way to make sure we can continue to bring you news of the region. We love doing what we do, but we can't do it without your financial support. So please go to stlpr.org and make a donation of any amount. Thank you, and now on with the Gateway.
Some of the items we are following today in the St. Louis Public Radio newsroom: the battle for the publisher of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch heads to the company's shareholders. They are gathering today in Iowa for Lee Enterprises' annual meeting. Hedge fund Alden Global Capital is trying to take over the publisher of newspapers and specialty publications. Lee rejected an offer last year and convinced a judge to block Alden from submitting names for today's Board of Directors elections. Alden countered by asking the court to determine how many votes Lee's chairman and another director need to be reelected. Also, we are monitoring any developments in that Major League Baseball lockout. Another marathon session yesterday failed to end with a deal. That has prompted postponement of the planned opening day this year at Busch Stadium. The Cardinals are now slated to begin the season in Milwaukee on April 14th. The first home game is now scheduled for April 25th against the New York Mets. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio, a listener-supported service of the University of Missouri-St. Louis. Music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. Happy birthday to my mom, who might be downloading this today in Arizona, or she might not. Either way, happy birthday. I'm Wayne Pratt. This has been The Gateway.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, saluting Earth Day on April 22nd with an ongoing commitment to help offset carbon emissions with sustainable harvesting of Missouri forests. Details at choosewood.com.